Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today we're going to be talking about Superman, the Last Son of Krypton trade paperback. Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today we're going to be doing an overview of this Last Son of Krypton trade paperback from Geoff Johns, Richard Donner, Andy Kubert, and Gary Frank. What? Gary Frank, you say? What's this, Brent? Last Son of Krypton is Johns, Donner, and Kubert. You are right. However, this collects the Last Son of Krypton arc with Donner and Kubert that took forever to come out, as well as the Brainiac arc. It does not have the Bizarro arc that took place in between them. So that's a little weird with Eric Powell. I don't know why, but it's not there. So I wanted to highlight this because I think it's kind of a unique collection here. You have this Geoff Johns, Richard Donner writing it, and then Gary Frank doing the art on the back half, and Adam Kubert on the front half. So this is from, I want to say like 2007, 2006, 2007. I remember being in college, and the news was the Kubert brothers were coming over, Andy and Adam, to DC. So you had Adam jumping on Action Comics with Geoff Johns and Richard Donner, and you had Andy Kubert going to Batman with Grant Morrison. And that was a big deal because the Kuberts had been Marvel exclusive artists. I mean, I don't know contractually, but they'd never drawn a single piece of DC art for the company up until this point, almost probably 20 years into their career. So it's pretty phenomenal to see these guys come over. I mean, you've read them doing X-Men, Ultimate X-Men, whole lot of X-Men stuff. And then they started doing some Avengers stuff later on. And now I think they're kind of split up. Their father, the legendary Joe Kubert, was this legendary artist. And he started this school called the Kubert School. And I think it was like the first accredited school for comics and sequential art. So both of them, I think, are doing day-to-day stuff, running it. So when this was coming out, this particular Action Comics was super duper late in between issues. It took forever, almost even to such a point that because this takes place post 52, post Infinite Crisis world, that it came out so late that the issue numbers are all screwed up. Like, they put out a number of filler issues in the Action Comics book to fill in between issues of this. Even to some point where, like, I mean, this story is about this kid, Christopher Kent. They adopt him, and he's basically the son of Zod, you find out later. But there was a whole, like, 3-issue arc of Christopher Kent palling around with Superman and Lois, doing things in the city as if this story was over. But this story ends in a tragic way, and Christopher Kent kind of disappears. He goes back into wherever he came from. Never to be seen again. So yeah, it was pretty wild how long this arc came to come out. And it was so disjointed to read it that way as well, because you're collecting them, monthly. You got, I think, the first 3 issues, and then there was a break, and then you got another one, and then there was a break. And the last issue came out in an annual. There's where Christopher Kent disappears. The art is gorgeous, though, but I want to say there was stuff going on with the school, or maybe the writing that made it kind of disappear. The downside to this, though, is that this finished up in, I remember it being annual number 11, Action Comics annual. But annual number 10, I don't think is collected in here. I wish it was, because it's got cool stuff in the back. It's got great stories in that annual number 10. So it's a bummer that this is not collected in there. I really think it should be. Is it in here? Nope. Just Action Comics annual number 11 to wrap up the Last Son of Krypton story. So reading this all together should be a little bit of a treat, because I remember reading it really disjointed, and then I don't think I ever went back to it. But the art is phenomenal. Gotta give props to Adam Kubert. He's a great artist. Slow at the time, but I think he's kind of figured that stuff out right now. He's over at Marvel, Adam Kubert right now doing stuff, and Andy is still over at DC, I believe. So yeah, they've split up. They broke up the band. Then you have the Brainiac storyline, and this was adapted into a movie, actually an animated movie called Superman. I want to say it was Brainiac. Gosh, what is it called? Anyway, there's an animated adaptation of this story here. And I wouldn't be surprised if Geoff Johns gets his hands on another Superman movie script, that this is going to make it into that movie as well. But yeah, you got Gary Frank, who's just a revelation when he came on Superman. He was doing great work on Incredible Hulk right before this, at the World War Hulk crossover. You got The Beautiful Cat Grant, drawn by Gary Frank. But this is like the first issue that he pops on here. This is what took everybody by surprise, took our breath away. This page, and he's basically harkening back to Christopher Reeve, right, from the 70s, late 70s and the 80s movies of Superman. And this shot right here is just, it's like spot on Christopher Reeve. And I don't mind them drawing Superman like Christopher Reeve, because he's still built heavier, bulkier than Chris Reeve was in those movies. But it's definitely a classic interpretation of Superman. So much so that you'll see these images, this one in particular, this one of Clark pulling the glasses off, you'll see these all around still to this day, closing in on, 15 years later, just because the art is so good. But yeah, so this talks about Brainiac coming in, and you finally meet the real Brainiac. Again, this is like the 5th version of Brainiac, and seems like every time they bring him in, they have a new origin for him, or it's always Superman meeting him for the first time. So since this was post-Infinite Crisis, this was like the first time Superman met this Brainiac, or a Brainiac. And they don't really go into all his other versions. This is his final form, as you would call it if you were talking about Dragon Ball Z, right? But yeah. But this series is great. The problem with it, though, is that it ends on a tragic note, and something happens. I mean, obviously, you can see it here. But something happens. And it doesn't really go into what happens after that, also. There was like a bunch of this is Kandor, the bottled city of Kandor comes out, and it launched into this huge crossover between all the different Superman books, between Superman, Action Comics, you had Supergirl in there, you also had a new book called The Lost World of Krypton, or New World of Krypton. Zod comes back after this story, and it just became like, I guess, hard to follow, because this was such a concise story, these two in here. And Geoff Johns never really recovered on his Superman arc after this on Action Comics. He was doing some of that Lost World of Krypton stuff, but I don't think he may have been the main architect, but he wasn't really like, heading it up in any significant way. I think we may have been writing one of the titles. But even then, by the time it was over, you kind of did not feel the Geoff Johns influence anymore. You felt the influence of other writers. So Superman is supposed to be Geoff Johns' favorite character, I believe. And for him to only, he didn't do 10 issues because we're missing the Brainiac stuff here, but to only do 13 issues on a character and not have it be like his definitive version after what he did for Flash, it's kind of a bummer. So someday, maybe we'll see Geoff Johns come back to Superman. Who knows? I guess time will tell. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of this story, Last Son of Krypton and Brainiac in here. There is a deluxe edition coming out, I think, this year of this. So it'll be oversized. This is a standard trade paperback, so it'll be about this tall, maybe this wide or something like that, in a hardcover version. And it is going to have both of these stories in there as well. So it's basically an oversized version of this trade paperback. There were some sketches and stuff in the back I didn't go through. Not that many. 2-3 pages from Andy Kubert. This is when he was doing his cardboard drawing phase. So like all the covers are drawn on this weird dark cardboard paper. for these Action Comics issues. Let's see if I can find one. Nope, that's the last one. But yeah, it was kind of weird. Oh, that first page, dummy. There you go. That one. But he's using like white out or scratching it. It's kind of a weird thing for the covers. Doesn't stand out on the stands, you know. There's no color to them at all. But there's lots of great color inside the book. So anyways, let me know what you guys think of this book and these stories within, and would you like to see Geoff Johns do some more Superman? Let me know down below. This book retails for $20. So not bad for 2 whole stories. It's basically 12 issues of story in here. Not bad for $20. So let me know what you guys think down below. We will see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.